When it comes time to look at events in some type of queue, what are things that might help you do your job? In this video, what we're doing is exploring ReflexSOAR's event queue and kind of why it's laid out the way it is. So welcome to the ReflexSOAR event queue. Here, I just want to kind of give you the lay of the land. So starting off really with this default view with what we call the quick filter bar. Because in here, you can obviously search based on various categories. You can look for events that happen within certain time ranges. But right off the bat, one thing that I love when I'm doing investigations in ReflexSOAR is the ability to have an at-a-glance view of what's in this queue. Specifically, we call this kind of the quick filter or quick pick bar because if I scroll from left to right, I can see a breakdown of everything in the queue. For example, my highest rule that's firing has something to do with a web server script tag, cross-site scripting. The severities are broken down, low, medium, high, critical. Might need to change some of these severities. So again, this is kind of a default lab, not very well tuned combination of a few event sources. And at a glance, I can already start to interpret the data, such as, I really don't think I have 30,000 critical alerts. Either that or I've got a problem, right? Keep going. I have a breakdown of observables that we brought in from our inputs, whether that's just port numbers, IP addresses down below, user accounts, process creation, command line. It's all broken in here and how many times that observable shows up in the queue. And everything in here, I'm not going to do it right now, is something I can click on and drill into those events. So again, it's a quick filter bar. Keep going. I can break down the data types behind the observables, any of the tags. Again, those act as filters, and at a glance, these all are coming from my lab environment. Breakdown of certain interfaces that I'm monitoring, and anything that I brought in as a tag. Keep going. Breakdown of my statuses. I currently am not investigating any of these in a case, so everything is marked as new. Otherwise, if I were to pop off new, I could see things like open statuses, dismiss statuses, and so on. And I can tell right now, most of my alerts are coming from an IDS, specifically Suricata events, kind of what we brought in with the input video. But I've got a decent amount also from using our SIMS-based Windows alert with Elast alert. And this could be Firewall, this could be Microsoft ATP, this could be Sentinel-1. It's whatever sources your alerts are coming in or events. Again, at a glance, I can break that down. And if you missed the signature video, you might want to go back and check out signature fields to kind of understand what this is. But the signature hash on the right is basically showing me how many times the signature fields were hashed and then rolled up to one card. Basically, like here, I've got this ADFS alert for 1,442 occurrences. That is most likely this roll-up hash right here. It'll make more sense if you watch that video. So at a glance, I can just kind of scan through these. Or if I were to filter on something specifically, like let's look at these here, click on it, and the quick filter bar now updates to reflect everything based on what I clicked on. So now the observable breakdown might make more sense, or in this case, it might tell you maybe I should tweak my inputs a little bit because I'm pulling in a lot of port numbers that are ephemeral ports. Okay? But having just an at-a-glance view of your queue, that's definitely helpful. It's absolutely helpful. But this queue page needs to allow my analyst to do more. So let's talk about some of these other capabilities we have in here. One, I can at a glance filter in, change statuses, search for certain titles like show me all events related to exploit, and that pops in there. But on the queue, I can select anything in here based on these observables, tags, or again, I can search based on certain key terms. Now, at a glance, I'm seeing things like the severity of the rule sets. If they've rolled up via signature hash, how many occurrences are in that? Plus, I can click on that to drill down on that hash. click back on to pop it back off. So kind of right at the fingertips, I can start clicking on things to filter in and out, back and forth as I see fit. Like, why would I click on the occurrences? Well, I kind of want to see when it started and maybe the last timestamp and kind of compare how long has this been going on. Tags operate the same way as from a filtering stance. Over here, I can see how many event rules have already automatically matched and done something to this event. Event rules will be covered in a different video. And over here, I can just be like, I just want to dismiss this one action card with all of its occurrences. If I would have done that while filtered in, well, it would have only dismissed the one, or I could check and do multiple of them at a time and dismiss those two. But again, in this view, it would literally only be those two, not the full action card, because we're deduplicating events based on signature fields if you've set them up on your inputs. So instead, what your analysts are probably going to do is, well, they're going to dismiss or create a case or merge into a case based on the rolled up action card, which is this right here. That would take all 1,446 events. We see that here, and we also see that here. So that's pretty cool, because that means your analysts, well, rather than working on one single event at a time, they effectively can take action on multiple. And it might be different rules that your analysts say, I think these are related. Like, if I thought these two were related, I can check both of them. This only had a single event. This one had 1,446. And I could grab all of these and create a case off of them and work that, because I can grab multiple things at once. Now, there's a few other standard features, like right now I'm only showing the default view in here. Oh, pop that. I can show 100 events at a time. That's based on action cards unless you're filtered on a signature hash. Or I can default to 10, 25, 50, change that. You can change sort based on timestamps. I have pagination, so in my queue, I have quite a few of these. I have 18 pages of events. Go back to page 1. And then within these, there's a few things I can do when I click on them, such as apply it as a filter, virus total lookup, Google search, just plain old copy the value so you don't have to type it out. So 100044, it's now in my copy paste. And add it to a list, which allows you to very quickly add it to a intel list, such as this is a known authorized scanner of some kind, like a vulnerability scanner. This user is a privileged user, and maybe it's on a manual list. Well, you just add the list in. So the interface is hopefully fairly intuitive in that you just start clicking on things and going from there. The filters you've applied will show up here on the top, and you can create cases, pop open the raw event drawer here. This is actually super helpful, by the way. One, I can see the full description I've assigned to event. For my IDS, I've pulled in the actual rule. I can see observables and any special tags or indicators, like this is an indicator of compromise. This is a known safe observable, or so on. But really, usually when I do this, I want to see the full event that it fired on, that it triggered on. So instead of just seeing this high-level information, I can pop open the event drawer and see the actual log that was related to this IDS event triggering, or whatever data source it was. Plus, again, different options for dismiss and event rules. Now, event rule is probably the or one of the most favorite things I have, that I just like setting these up in ReflexSOAR. It's one of your initial automation forms of triage, changing severities, adding tags to events, but we'll cover that in the next video. So, the event queue. It's not too hard, very informative using the quick filter bar, at a glance view of what's going on within your current view, the ability to search based on observables, tags, just things like part of the title and so on, dates, because obviously if we're doing investigations, we need that capability. And I can select and roll up multiple things at once, merge them into a case, create a new case, dismiss, or so on. check out our event queues. Hopefully this was helpful and gets you going.